The situation that you're describing, it just sounds so different from the line that I think a lot of us are fed about our need to open our borders to people who are genuinely in need. And I think we did a video a long time ago about John Oliver's segment covering the migrant crisis. He literally chooses, I think she's a Syrian girl who's in a wheelchair who taught herself English and is clearly just, this brilliant. That's what a lot of people like to put as the face of this migrant crisis because, of course, everyone wants to help disabled children who are fleeing war. You'd have to be a monster to not have that affect you. What you're describing sounds completely different. It almost sounds like a lot of these people are actually economic migrants. But I think a lot of viewers may be under the impression that once they get to the ports, there must be some sort of screening in place, or someone to vet these people to make sure that they are who they say they are, they don't have ties to any place dangerous, they're really in genuine need. What happens when these people actually get to Spain?
So this is also something we discovered in the mountains of Morocco, is when we were walking around, we would see all these passports on the ground, and they would be ripped to shreds, all the pieces of them missing, and you pick them up, and they'd be Gambian, Senegalese passports, Nigerian passports, and we were like, why are these people ripping up these passports? So we asked one of the guys that was showing us around the camp, and he said, well, you rip up your passport so that once you touch ground in Spain, they can't deport you because you have nowhere to be deported to. They don't know who you are. So of course there's no way of tracking these people, which makes it an even more tragic case because rather than the narrative that we are helping people or saving people, it's quite the opposite. You're bringing in a bunch of people that have made it literally impossible to even help them or determine whether they should be helped because they have no identification. Think of how difficult it is to migrate when you've provided all of your bank forms, when you've provided your passport, all of your address history, everything. It takes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years for families that are Christian families, English speaking, educated to come to the Western world legally. How are we supposed to find out where these millions of people are coming from when they're ripping up their passports and throwing them out on the advice of human traffickers? And not only that, it does a disservice to themselves because now they can't be put into any sort of system. They can't be given a job. They can't be given, we can't even figure out if they're ISIS or criminals. So they just end up living on the streets because they can't become a part of the European system. So how are we helping people? Not only are we hurting legitimate refugees and legitimate applications to come into Europe from people who are persecuted, but we're certainly not even helping the people who are trying to come in illegally, who are tossing out their passports and throwing away all their money for a dream that isn't true. And it is a dream that they're sold. I want people to really understand this, that you and I, we would probably take some of these opportunities as well if we were living in Africa, if we were told by a human trafficker or a friend who called us up, listen, I've got you a ticket to paradise, $2,000, $4,000, I'm going to get you to Europe. You're going to basically be, they have this vision that once you get to Europe, you're living like a king, you're living like a queen. It's amazing, it's perfect. And of course they sell that because they're trying to make money. It's a business, and your clients can't come back and complain when it's illegal and they're in a different country. So these people are lied to as well, and it's quite tragic for everyone involved.